Okay, I do want to welcome everybody here, and let me bring some more people out. Hello, Al. How you doing? I want to welcome Tony. I want to hello to Roger. We got a lot of people who are joining us here this evening. I want to welcome all of you to a very special edition of UCore Live. My name is Joe, and I'm going to be kind of like the moderator here. I'm about to introduce the founder of U Economy, Peter Wolfing. He'll give you some background on where he comes from, what his experience is. But I will tell you right now that I'm going to urge you guys to get in a quiet area. And please, if you haven't done so already, get away from anything that may distract you. Make sure that you are taking notes, because what you're going to hear here in the next 60 minutes or so is a life changer, and it will be a big difference maker for so many of you. I want to turn it over right now to the founder of U Economy, a guy who's amazing. You hear him all the time on the radio shows. Maybe you've seen him on stage around the United States of America as he travels as a public speaker. Mr. Peter Wolfing, the floor is yours. Come on out.
Hey, Joe, thank you so much. And everybody, hey, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on this webinar today. There's going to be something a little bit different, actually quite different than we've done in the past. And what I want to do is switch my screen over here. Joe, did you give me the screen or no? Let me do that here if you haven't already done that.
Yes, there should be a screen share at the bottom there. Do you see a screen share tab?
Got it. All right.
There you go.
All right. All right. If you can see my screen here, it says your invisible power. So, guys, what I wanted to do today is do something different. I wanted to give value, okay? Value that we are primarily an education company here with U Economy. So I wanted to provide value. If you know me at all, if you've been around any of the U Economy things we've been doing for the past year, you know that I love to teach, I love to give value, I love to educate, I love to share awarenesses, open up awarenesses to people so that this way maybe they can think differently and maybe they can have some aha moments, some awarenesses in their life to be able to take themselves to another level. So regardless of whether or not you decide to take any next steps with us today, that's irrelevant, okay? It's okay. So I want you to just relax. I'm not here to sell you anything. And what I'm going to do is talk about some things today that regardless of whether or not you join our company, I think you're going to be able to take out some nuggets from here and enhance your life in anything that you happen to be doing, whether it's business or personal, okay? So the thing I wanted to do today is, when I was putting the slide deck together, is to say, well, how can I add value to your life today? How can I bring something to the table maybe you haven't heard before? So I kind of went into this reservoir of knowledge that I've had, this teaching that I've done here, a little bit from the U Economy Basic, a little bit from the U Economy Mastery and the Advanced. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. I'll kind of go over that a little bit later. But all these different reservoirs of knowledge and training, I must have done thousands and thousands of hours of conference calls, webinars, and so on over the past 30 years. Well, almost 28 years now. And so I have a lot of stuff to dip in from. So I've learned from many, many people in the past, and you'll see them on here as well too. So just get ready, relax, and I'm going to get started and show you a little bit more about your invisible power and how you can actually tap into this. You have to develop yourself before you develop your business. Most people have it flip-flopped, okay? Joe, let me ask you a question. Do you see me when I'm doing the slide deck, or is it all slide deck?
I can see you at the very top. I can see the slide deck, and I can see your face at the very top.
Great, a little bit. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, because I use my hands when I talk.
Okay, cool.
When I do the UCore, I'm pacing around all over the place. So, you know, you have to develop yourself before you develop the business. And as much as 90% of your success or failure in any business is between your ears. Okay, it's not how to do the business. People have it flip-flop. They have it the wrong way. They go after, how do I do this? How do I do that? And it's the wrong way to do the business. The inside is the most important thing. You have to develop the entrepreneur here first, because when you do that, it's going to exponentially multiply how to do the business, okay? So that's what we're going to focus on here today. We're going to focus on this part, and then we're going to show you how all of these components come together and how you actually learn and how you become who you are and how you think the way you think. And it's going to cause you to sit there at night, 3 o'clock in the morning, and go, why did I have that extra slice of pizza today when I told myself this afternoon I'm not? And you're going to think about that, okay? Because these types of things are going to cause you to make some awareness choices, okay? Eric Hoffer said, in times of change, the learners will inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal in a world that no longer exists. Basically, what he's saying is that if you think you know everything and you have nothing else to learn, the learned, okay, the world is changing at a rapid pace. We all know this, and it's accelerating, okay? Even from the year 2000, 2010, we're in 2018, 19, going through all these years, coming up on 19, coming up, it's exponentially accelerating with the rapid change that's happening. So if you think you know everything, guess what? The learners are going to pass you by because you're always in a learning mode. So what I want you to do today is to spend any disbeliefs that you think you know, okay? Because I think some of the things I'm going to talk about, you're going to like, wow, I never thought about that. But when you think about it, and when I talk about it, you're going to say, well, that was so simple. Why didn't I think of that? But don't worry, the simplicity is in the genius of what I'm talking about, okay? So great quote from Eric Hoffer. Now,
Peter, excuse me for interrupting, Peter, but you have to move your slideshow at the very top of your screen. It says slideshow because right now we only see one slide. Move page up there or go up.
I am moving it. I'm seeing the slides. Okay, let's see. Joe, let me ask you a question. How do I move it? I'm moving it on my screen. I can see it moving on my screen, but you're only seeing one.
That's correct. I'm seeing U Economy 5118 at the very, very top. What I see on your screen is a red toolbar at the very top. Says File, Home, Insert, Design, Slideshow is what I see. So maybe just refresh. Maybe refresh your machine because what we're seeing is the original slide that you put up when you
Peter,
launched.
Yes.
it's Walter. Hit Enable Editing up top. Hit that. See up top? It says Enable Editing.
He doesn't see that.
I don't see that.
He doesn't see that. Okay.
All right. Interesting, because I'm seeing everything move and you guys aren't seeing it.
We're stuck on slide number 1 here. It's like you've just launched PowerPoint, but you haven't launched the slideshow.
All right. Let me see if you guys see this here. Maybe I'll just do it one at a time.
Yes, this is a live presentation, you guys. This is what happens
There
when
you
you
go.
go live.
You got it, Peter.
Okay, so see that? You see everything on the left-hand side too?
Yes.
All right, so it looks like I'm just going to have to do it onesie-twosie, and you're not going to see everything flying into the screen and everything. So we'll wing it. What do we say in the Marine Corps? Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
There we go.
Content is the most important, right? So I was saying before, develop yourself before you develop your business. You're seeing this slide here right now?
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. All right, great. So we'll play with it, and we'll figure out later on in another presentation why that's not happening. But develop yourself before you develop your business. As much as 90% of your success or failure is between your ears, not how to do the business. And this is the quote that I just mentioned from Eric Hoffer. Now, there's a story. Some of you may have heard it when I was in New York City. And the point of this story is this. I wish I could tell you everything that I've learned in 30 years. I really wish I could do that. We have an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. It's just not possible. And there's a story of a preacher and a farmer. He comes from New York. He goes, honey, I'm going down to rural Texas. There's a church there. They're looking to hire someone as their new pastor, and I'm going to speak to the deacons over there at the church. Flies down to Texas, goes to see them, meets with them, and they say, listen, we want you to come on. Great. And he's so excited, calls his wife in New York, honey, come on down to Texas. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to preach this Sunday at this church because I'm going to be taking over the church. So his wife comes down. He's waiting for her, but she's not going to come until next week. And he says, listen, I'm going to try to give them the best sermon I could possibly give. And he writes this beautiful 2-hour speech of fire and brimstone and faith and salvation. He puts his heart into it. And he comes early on Saturdays when they do their teaching and so on and preaching on Saturday. And he fixes the lights just right, make sure everything's perfect. And he gets there at 7:30, and he's waiting for the first person at the front of the door, and no one shows up. 7:45, no one shows up. 7:55, no one is there when he's getting quiet. He's looking at his watch. Is today the right day, the right time? And he looks way out in the distance, and an old pickup truck's coming down the road with gravel spitting in the back of it, stops in front of the church. An old farmer comes out with his John Deere hat on, walks up the steps to the church, comes through, and he says, "Morning, preacher." Goes up and sits in the front of the pew, and that's it. That's the only person that shows up. He goes and he says, "Wow, what am I going to do? I did this sermon I wrote, and I put my heart into it, and I was going to do this for 100 people, and one shows up." He walks up to the farmer and says, "What should I do? You're the only one here." And the farmer says, "Well, preacher, I don't know anything about preaching. I raise cows, and I feed cows." And basically, he said, "Well, but if one cow showed up, I would feed it." So the farmer says, "Yeah, great, I'm going to do it." He gets up on there, starts his sermon, gives a 2-hour, beautiful, sweat coming off his face, off his brow, fire and brimstone, faith and salvation. And after 2 hours, he comes up to the farmer and says, "Wow, what do you think? How did I do?" And he says, "Well, preacher, I don't know nothing about preaching. I feed cows. But if one cow showed up, I don't think I'd give him the whole load." So basically what he's saying is what I'm trying to say here. I wish I could give you the whole load today, okay? I wish I could give you everything that I know, and I can't. So understand, this is just a small fraction of what we teach in U Economy, okay? All right, so let's move on a little bit further, and I'll go down. One of the trainings that we did was about Star Wars, and you can learn a lot by Yoda, a lot by Star Wars. Well, great philosophy, and he says you must unlearn what you have learned. You must unlearn what you've learned, because the first thing that you have to do today is you have to say, listen, I have to make room for new information, because if you think you know everything, there's not going to be any room for the stuff that I want to show you today, okay? So the first thing you have to do is you have to unlearn that which you've learned to be able to make room for the things that you want to learn and stick in there, okay? Do you ever feel like this, that you're stuck in a prison and is built by your own life experiences, and you're in this box like this guy on the right-hand side? You're in this box, and you know that there's something taped on the outside, and you kind of see through a little mirror that you put up, and it's the instructions to get out of the box. But you have the instructions taped to the outside of the box. What do? And sometimes you feel like that, wow, I want to be successful online, but the information's out there. I know it's out there. It's just not in front of me. And I'm in this box and I can't seem to break free, but I know the instructions are out there somewhere, but I just can't seem to get my hands on it because it's outside the box. Well, we have this information for you today, and we're going to give it to you to be able to get out of the box. But you have to be willing to read it and to be able to act on it, okay? 2% of the people think, 3% of the people think they think, and 95% of the people would rather die than think. So what I'm going to tell you today, and I'm going to teach you today, is I'm going to ask you to think. I'm going to ask you to contemplate the information that I'm going to give you today and say, wow, what if he actually is right? Right? Okay? George Bernard Shaw said that. Let me give you a little bit of information about myself. And these pictures were supposed to be coming one after another. But if you see my mouse over here, see this little box down here? This is actually the house I grew up in from 1960 to about 1963 or 4, and it's still there. That is a recent picture, and the house I grew up in didn't have aluminum siding on it. So if you can imagine, that house is maybe 400 by 400 square feet, okay? I grew up in that house, so you think, hey, this guy owns this business, it's all over the world, he's brought in 2 million people, and people have earned almost $500 million of commission, he must have had a silver spoon in his mouth. Nay, nay, okay? I came with nothing, less than nothing. My mother immigrated from Europe just after World War II, and she knew barely any English, and she just did whatever was necessary to fend for us. Many of you maybe have parents like that would do anything for their children. Maybe you're one yourself, and you probably are. But my mom was the same way. She would do anything for us to be able to fend for us, but we started in that little shack, and that's about an hour north of New York City, okay? So I started in that. With that house, and I remember stories from my sister. She said it was so cold we didn't have heat or anything. We had to put newspapers against the windows because it was so cold, and it was just amazing. And I went there. This was a picture last summer. I went there, and I made a cribs video. So if you ever go to my Facebook page, look at 1960s crib video, and you'll see the picture there. And I talked to the person that lives in the house, and come to find out that he works in the same place that my sister, I have a twin sister, he works in the same place that my sister does right now. Small world, right? But I started that house, and on the left-hand side, that's me just to the right of that house, right there. And in the middle picture right over here, that's me in the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. I went through Weeblos, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and then went into, just in high school, just out of high school, that's me on the right-hand side, did some modeling and so on. Just figured that wasn't for me, didn't like it so much, and decided to follow my father's footsteps and went into the United States Marine Corps. That's me just after I got out of boot camp, nice and thin and skinny. And a funny thing happened. When you go into the service, and anyone in the service, thank you for your service, you'll know that when you go into boot camp, they shave your head, right? And that was a pretty traumatic experience, but the problem was that after they shaved my head, the hair didn't grow back. So I was stuck like that. So funny thing happened, I had to live with it. So I did. You know, you improvise, adapt, and overcome, and that's what happened. But after I got out of the Marine Corps, I started to learn different things. I went into the restaurant business with my parents. I got a culinary degree. And in 1990, I went into the internet digital age, okay? I started to learn from mentors. This is Steve Forbes over here. This is Sir Richard Branson. This is Gary Vee, if you ever hear Gary Vee, crazy speaker, but great. Darren Hardy, one of my first mentors that I learned with. This is me with him, where I paid $12,000 just to sit with him for 3 days. Would you pay $12,000 to sit with somebody like that? I certainly would. I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be around these types of people. You see, if you want to learn something, there's two ways you can learn, and I'll talk about this later on. Number one is spaced repetition of information, okay? Repetition over and over again. Number two is a sudden impact or sudden infusion of things. And that's what I wanted to do. I figured I can buy my way to get close to these people, because if I just let it happen, it's not going to happen. And one of the best ways that you can learn faster and get to where you want to go from point A to point Z quicker is to find a mentor and somebody that's already done it. And I figure if I could find somebody who's already done it, Darren Hardy, this is John Maxwell. I'm actually a certified executive with John Maxwell. Been to many of his conventions and has met him, and Paul Martinelli and people that are high up with his company. And of course, Richard Branson and so on as well too. So because I felt that I wanted to get close to these people and learn from them. You know, our awareness is severely limited by our environment. Okay, when I was brought up in that house, do you think I even had the knowledge when I started to grow older that I could make $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour, $2,000 an hour? Absolutely not. My awareness was limited by my environment. Maybe many of you are in that position right now. Now, although our parents love us, we're programmed to think the way they think. We have their values, their faith, their political views, even their values on money and their views on money. Were you brought up in an environment where money is evil? Where the rich do things wrong to be able to get the money, right? Where abundance is not around us, we're in scarcity, right? These types of ways of people thinking are things that corrupt us, but from the age of 0 to about 12, guess what happens? We absorb everything and we just take it like doctrine, okay? Because what Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. said is so true. We are tattooed in the cradles, in our cradles with the beliefs of our tribe. Okay, you can read the rest of this, but I'll embellish on it. Basically, from the moment you're born to when you get older, we are tattooed with their beliefs, their dreams, their hopes, if they have any more at this point, how they think about money, abundance, scarcity, poverty, all these different things, fear, and we're tattooed with that on our life, and we become them. Okay, so it's a profound statement there from Oliver Wendell Holmes, and I just love it. Now, as I mentioned before, we don't have the ability to accept or reject any ideas or value systems from the approximate age of when we're born to about 12. Okay, now you see these two pictures over here, and we'll show of hands over here. Does anyone have any teenagers now or have had any teenagers now? I'll raise my hand, okay? They're very, very independent. When they start getting 12, 13, 14, 15, guess what's happened? they start getting the age of reason in their minds, and they start to buck with authority, and they start to rebel, and they start to do all sorts of different things, because now they start to have an intelligence that they become socially aware of different things, and that's exactly what happens. Okay, mine went through the same thing, and I have a 13-year-old right now who's doing the same thing. Okay, now personally, I was programmed that if I was going to be successful, I had to be in the right place at the right what? Time. Has anybody ever thought about that? I think most of you got to be in the right place at the right time, right? We always hear that kind of thing. Well, you can be in exactly the wrong place at the wrong time and still win. Does anybody believe that? I believe that. Because once you raise your level of awareness of possibilities that are happening, and you see that obstacle of what's happening, you see all sorts of possibilities. You have choices. You have choices to be able to pick, and you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time and still win. I do that all the time in the stock market. The market goes down, I can make money. The market goes up, I can make money. The market goes sideways, I can make money. Many times it goes down, people like jumping out of buildings, that kind of thing. And other people are saying it's raining manna from heaven. Come on, pay me. Because you know, and you have the knowledge to be able to be sovereign over your life, and that you, in fact, can be in the wrong place at the wrong time, make money. You can be in the right place at the wrong time, make money, given any scenario, and it can happen for you because you have the knowledge of what's happening, and you can make the right decisions. Give you an example. Anybody know what happened in 2008 to 2011? We had the big financial crisis, right? Many people were having tremendous problems. The person that was my realtor had tremendous problems, right? And I would talk to people and say, wow, they're saying, wow, I just can't wait for things to get better. I just can't wait for things to get better. And I'm like, you have it all wrong. You have it all wrong. What do you mean you wait for things to get better? This is the best time ever, right? This is the best time ever. Because they have to decide. You have to know there's two types of change, right? There's cyclical change, which basically you have no choice, okay? Right? I'm sorry, you have a choice. Cyclical change means that, let's just say the stock market, you pick oil, you pick cotton, you pick these different types of commodities, and they go up and they go down, and they go up and they go down. That's called cyclical change. There's spring, there's summer, there's winter, there's fall. That's cyclical change. And if you're aware of these different things that happen, you have the choice to be able to pick the right times to get in, to get out. And I'm just picking the stock market as an example, but there's so many other things out there that are cyclical in nature, okay? That's one type of change. The second type of change is structural change. Structural change, you don't have a choice, okay? Think about this. When people were way back in the 1800s, way back, right? If they were stuck in structural change, they said, no problem, I'm going to stick with my horse. This cart and buggy thing is a fad. That's structural change. It's happening, buddy. It is happening. What about people that are stuck? I like my little IBM typewriter. I'm just going to stick with this. How about Kodak? They were the ones that invented the digital camera. And they said, that's not going to happen. They gave away that, and they stuck with film. Guess what happened with Kodak? Gone. Tens of thousands of lives impacted because of that, because they weren't aware of structural change. Okay? People don't resist change as much as they resist being changed. People don't resist change as much as they resist being changed. All right? And what happened during this time, I was able to buy that house. During the crisis, I had $1 million mortgage here in New York City. I had another house that was about $600,000, and this one over here that I bought right on the water. And I went into that house. You ever been into a house and you say, listen, this is the house? You walk in, the realtor's going, well, what do you think? Within 2 minutes, I was in that house. I was like, write it up. He says, what do you mean write it up? Do you want to make an offer? I'm like, no. He said, why not? He said, well, if I try to negotiate with this house, I might lose it. This is the house I want. I knew it. As soon as I was in, I was like, write it up. I don't want to risk losing this house. Think about that for a second. Most people negotiate with their dreams, right? And if you're willing to negotiate with your dream, that means you're willing to lose your dream, because the best negotiator is the person that's willing to walk away. I wasn't willing to walk away with that house because I knew that was the house for me. I wanted to be by the water, and the water just mellows me out, calms me. I go there all the time, okay? And I would sit there, And I would just sit by the water, watch the boats go back and forth, and that goes right into Barnegat Bay. Okay, and I just knew it was for me. I said, like, write it up. I wasn't willing to negotiate my dream. And unfortunately, so many people do that. They negotiate their dream, and they say, listen, I don't think I'm going to pay $60 a month for UCOR, and that's called negotiating your dream. It's too much money, right? Don't ever let money stop your greatness, guys. Don't ever let money stop your greatness. Now, talking about structural change, I know I'm going to heaven. Guess who this is? This is my mom, okay? This is my mother in 1962, buy that house, okay? And this is my mom when she's in a senior facility. Unfortunately, she has Alzheimer's right now, and that's me with her over there. I owe all my entrepreneurial skills to my mom, watching her with what she was able to do, work at home, and she was able to open up multiple fabric stores, interior design, open up a restaurant, and just dynamite stuff. And I know I'm going to heaven. Why do I say that? Well, she resisted structural change. And as she was getting older, not quite as old as she was there, she still had her faculties together. I went over there and I spent a few days over there, and I said, listen, Mom, I know you're complaining that people, your sisters and everybody's not contacting you, and you're waiting for these Hallmark cards to come in. I said, Mom, that's not the way people communicate anymore. She's like, what do you mean? Here, look at this computer over here. Mom, this is YouTube. I showed her how to get Engelbert Humperdinck, Frank Sinatra, all these people. And she was like the best thing ever, right? She was playing it all the time. Facebook, right? And YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, right? So Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. I showed her all these different things, and she was like, this is the best thing ever, right? But she didn't really understand the fact that Hallmark cards don't work anymore. People are using these different mediums to be able to communicate, and she kind of really didn't get it. She just kind of stuck to the music thing. And then I went back to her again, and I talked to her, and she says, Peter, can you tell me about this you twit face thing? I'm like, what are you talking about, you twit face? No, you twit face. You're talking about you twit face. Oh, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Mom, you don't know this. Okay, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Now, okay. And I talked to her about it again, and I kind of redo it and so on. But she was resisting structural change. And many people go through their life and they resist the structural change and not willing to go with what's happening in society today. So what I want you to do is open up to be able to realize that the economy is going digital. We are in front of the wave of digital right now with U Economy. Digital education is where it's at. Digital education in the next few years is going to be over $200 billion in volume. 200 billion, right? Forbes magazine just 3 years ago, said it was over 100 billion, and it's accelerating. Monster markets. You want to be in front of these trends that are happening, and digital is definitely structural change. Okay, so you need to adapt to structural change because our world is changing at an alarming rate. Now, everything that we do is based on two different things: a learning model of success and a learning model of failure. Okay, now I want you to concentrate on this section that I'm talking about. Okay, very, very important. Now, what do I mean by everything? Everything you do is based on a learning model of success, a learning model of failure, whether it's an internet business, whether it's putting on your socks in the morning, putting on your pants in the morning. Let me stop there. How many people, and I can't see who's doing this, but think about it for a second. And please understand there's no trick questions here, okay? This is all right up front, no trick questions. How many people, when you put your pants on in the morning, if you did, put your right leg in your pants first, and how many people put your left leg in first? Think about that for a second. You might even have to think about it for a second. Okay? Type in the chat, say, I'm a left leg person, I'm a right leg person. Think about that for a second, right? Now, did you ever think, why do you put in your right leg first? You ever think, why do you put in your left leg first? Why? Now, when you're thinking about that, I'm going to accelerate the process a little bit, and I'm going to give you a reason why. Because everything you do is based on a learning model of success or failure. Even putting on your pants. Think about when you're 2 or 3 years old, and you're sitting there, and you said to me, Peter, I'm a right leg person. I put right leg first. and you're sitting there and you're trying to put on at least when you got past the point where you put your pants on your head, you try to actually get past that point, and you're trying to put on your pants, and you stick your left leg in your pants, and your mom gets next to you, no, your right leg. And then you put your right leg first. And then tomorrow you put your left leg in, she says, no, your right leg. And the next day you put in your left leg, and she says, no, your other leg, your right leg. And then eventually it's right leg, right leg, right leg, right leg, and you don't have to think about it anymore. You've been domesticated because your parents taught you a learning model of success. Now, if you got up in the morning and you were able to put on your clothes, congratulations, you have a learning model of success because you've learned how to put on your clothes. But everything we do is all based on that type of a learning model. So if you think about this, okay, it's profound. Think about this. We can learn from Shrek. Okay, anybody here hears Shrek? Okay. A point where the donkey is walking with Shrek, and he's talking to Shrek, and Shrek's getting annoyed, and the donkey says, oh, I know, it's an onion thing. You have to peel back the onion. I understand. You have to peel back the onion. Right? You remember that one? Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. You get it? We both have layers. Well, what I'm going to do today is as I go through these learning model of success, learning model of failure, and I know it sounds so simple, but please bear with me because I'm laying down a foundation of what I'm going to talk about later. Okay? And again, the concepts that we're talking about here, I break these down so simply, in so much detail in the learning portions of U Economy that we spend an hour on just gratitude. We spend an hour on faith. We spend an hour on being world famous, but you're wondering what that means. We spend an hour on all these different types of things because it's so important. We dissect what you think, how to be able to accelerate the process, because even just 1% that you can increase from the inside is going to exponentially affect the 10% on the outside. Because whether you know it or not, your whole body is run from subconscious, right? You ever, after you learn how to drive, you ever drive to work and wonder how you got there? You're like, you don't even remember. All you just remember is sticking your keys in the ignition, and you remember, oh, now I'm at work. You forgot the whole process of going to work. That's because your subconscious is running your life. And unfortunately, most people, they sleepwalk through their whole life. Remember that slide I did before? I said most people would rather die than think. And they think they're thinking, but they're really not thinking. What they're doing is they're regurgitating the same thoughts over and over and over and over again. But they think it's thinking. It's really not thinking, right? They haven't grown. It's like I have 30 years experience. No, you don't. You have 1 year repeated 30 times. It's regurgitated thought. And that's why I said a few percent think, a few percent think they think, and most of the percentage, 95%, would rather die than think. It's just regurgitated thought, right? So as we're going through this, we're going to show you more examples of this learning model of success and failure, but I want to peel back the onion so you can kind of understand why you start to do things, and even the littlest things that you do, like you said you weren't going to have that pizza, but you did. You said you were going to stop smoking, but you didn't, right? All these different things. When that happens, think about this next slide I'm going to give you right now, and you can go and analyze that backwards, okay? Now, again, this is supposed to be one after another. You're not supposed to see the whole slide, so it loses the whole impact. But if you peel back the layers, the top one is results, okay? Now, think about your internet business. Your internet business, if you're in internet business, whatever you're doing, okay? You're getting results, okay? Now, your results could be bad, and that's a learning model of failure. Your results could be good. That could be a learning model of success. And maybe you're on the way from a learning model of failure to a learning model of success, hopefully, okay? But basically, your results, okay? What causes your results? Ultimately, your actions and your behaviors cause your results. In today's society, most people don't even think that's the case. They don't think their actions or behaviors cause their results, right? Emerson said the law of laws is cause and effect. You are absolutely the cause and effect of what you have in your life right now or what you don't have in your life right now. Your actions and your behaviors, whether you're doing things or not, are causing the results you're having in your internet business or whatever you're doing, right? What causes your actions and behaviors? Your feelings cause your actions and behaviors. And I should put in here feelings and emotions. Emotion is emotion, energy in motion. Okay? So your emotions and your feelings of how you feel about something cause you to either take action or not take action. Your behaviors, which causes your results. I don't feel like getting up in the morning. I'm not going to get on that webinar today. I just feel, right? Or I'm just low with my emotions right now, and it causes your actions, behavior, which cause your results. See what I'm saying? Okay? So your feelings and your emotions are going to dictate how you're going to act, how you're going to behave the whole day. You talk to one person, you get rejected in your business, oh man, then your feelings are going to eventually through the whole day is going to cause different actions with different behaviors, which are going to cause different results. Make sense? It's all just a scientific method here. This is not way out stuff, okay? But it's simple stuff, but it's profound, okay? Now, the way you think is going to affect your feelings and your emotions, which is going to affect your actions and your behaviors, which is going to affect your results. Okay? What we think about is what we bring about. What we concentrate on in our mind is going to affect our emotions and our feelings. And one of my teachings, we go about frequencies and vibrations of thought and all these different things. Okay? So what you think about causes feelings and emotions, actions, behaviors, cause your results. How do you affect what you think about? Your environment. You're the average of the 5 people that you hang around with the most, which is causing the way you think, which is causing the way you feel, which is causing the actual behaviors, which is causing the result. It's just mathematical stuff, right? So your environment, the people that you're around, the area that you're around causes these different things. Anybody ever see me on YouTube and you see me or Facebook Live and I'm out walking in the park, or I'm at the Starbucks, or I'm at a museum or something and I'm working over there? You ever wonder why I'm on a cruise ship and I'm working? You ever wonder why? Because I understand this concept. My environment changes the way I think. As much as I love where I live, I have to change my environment sometimes because it affects the way I think. New ideas come out. I feel free, right? And that's just me. I feel free. I think different. It affects my emotions and my feelings. It affects my actions, behaviors, affects my results. Joe will tell you all the time. Even Walter will tell you, I'm out and all of a sudden I'm just cranking out content. I'm typing because the content that we have here is original stuff. So I'm cranking out the content because I'm in a different environment, even if it's a Starbucks. So this environmental factor is important. And there's 2 parts to the environmental factor. There's external and there's internal. Okay? External parts that affect you in your environment is toxic news. Okay? Do you think that the fear-based media, okay, and it's all fear-based because they want to get your attention, do you think that really affects you? Think about this for a second. I was in New York. I lived in Manhattan on September 11th, okay? And I smelled the smoke. Trust me, my high school sweetheart that I went to my prom with died in that building, okay? So I smelled the smoke. I was here, okay? Do you realize that the media did more damage on September 12th than they did September 11th? You're like, Pete, what are you talking about? A plane hit the building. Thousands of people died. Let me explain. We put our children in front of a television on September 12th that are 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 years old and watch a plane go into a building over and over and over and over again. What happened? We programmed fear into our children. We did more damage to our kids because of external environmental things, because of the media blowing in and saying, this is what you have to watch. That affects you. It affects the sponge, which is the brain of our kids, and it affects everything. You have to guard what goes into your brain, which goes into your personal environment. Now, internal is on the inside, okay? The internal is on the inside. It's the things that you think that you do and things like that on the inside. Now, I don't have time to go into that, but you can be able to affect through what you listen to, but what you read, what you see, what you hear, what you feel. All these different things are going to be affected by yourself, not so much external by other factors, but things that on the inside for you. Okay? I said this before, the law of laws is cause and effect. Emerson said this, and you are a creative being and responsible for your results. So it's the sooner you take action and understand that you are the cause of your results, you're the cause of your failure or your success, nobody else. Stop saying the government's going to take care of me, I'm entitled to this, I'm entitled to that. Baloney. Take charge of your life. All right, so there's 3 elements to a model of achievement, okay? Belief, awareness, and principles within the model. And I'm going to start speeding up because I don't want to run out of time here. Okay, very important. Write these down. 3 elements to a model of any achievement or failure, okay? Number 1 is belief. Number 2 is awareness. And number 3 is principles within the model. What am I talking about, principles in the model? Okay, it's the doing, okay? It's the mechanics of something, okay? So let's go on and I'll kind of explain this. Can you do this? Can you do this? At some point when you were younger and you were this baby in the beginning here, you couldn't walk and you're crawling on all 4s, right? If you didn't think you could do that, then you'd still be on all 4s. And you crawled and you bumped into things, you got bumps and bruises and you got cuts and nicks and fell down many, many times. And eventually you went to this part, right? And you became a cruiser and you started to walk, and before you know it, you're walking on 2s and you're almost running around, and before you know it, hey, you got a model of success, a learning model of success, and you eventually learn how to do that because you learned eventually balance, and you learned muscle dexterity and how to put your left leg and right leg and forward and backwards and wobbling, and eventually you didn't have to think about it and you walk. If I asked you right now to get up off your chair and just stand up, could you explain to me how you did that? I'm like, Walter, how did you don't have to answer me, I'll just give you Walter, how did you stand up? Well, I just did it. I just did it. What do you mean you just did? How does anybody just do something, right? Can you explain how you just stood up? Well, I just kind of, no, I can't explain it. It's because you become an unconscious competent, because the just is all part of this right here, right? About this. Eventually you learn how to do that, and you became an unconscious competent on how to walk. You become an unconscious competent on how to put your pants on. These basic things, because eventually you have to start from something and you have to fall down along the way and you have to make mistakes along the way. And eventually you become a cruiser and you start to wobble around and walk. And eventually if you keep on doing it and you keep on increasing your skill level, guess what happens? You get better and better. And guess what happens when your skill level goes up in anything? You demand more money, because the money you make is a direct result of your skill level. And if you start to get better and better and better, guess what happens? You start to make $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $500 an hour, because now you're not wobbling anymore, you're sprinting. Maybe in your skill level in your company or your business, maybe you're at the skill level of an Olympic sprinter and you're making a lot of money. Anybody can do that. They can, okay? Look at this one here. Can you do this? Okay, type in anyone on here that can ride a bicycle. Okay, and if you can't, hey, type it in too. There's no judgments here. Okay, I'm just going to make a point. Okay, going back to what I said before, and riding a bicycle, this one here. Okay, how could you be able to ride a bicycle if you didn't even know a bicycle existed? So you couldn't have been able to even want to ride a bicycle if you didn't know a bicycle existed, these things called bicycles. I didn't even know network marketing existed in 1990 until somebody showed me. I went to a hotel meeting and it was like, awareness, oh my God, this is what I've been looking for. Awareness, like lights were going off, the cartoon light over my head came on, and the awareness came on to me just like riding a bicycle. I found out there were bicycles. But in that case scenario, I found out there's such thing as network marketing. And I was like, man, if this is true, I found my calling. And I did. And 27 years later, I'm still doing it. Okay. But my awareness happened. The same thing with the bicycle. Okay. Now, at the beginning, when you got on a bicycle, what happens? Just like you're walking, you get on, you try to pedal, you fall. You try to pedal, you fall. You try to pedal, you fall. Unless you're like a kamikaze guy like me. Okay. I got on and I got on the bicycle the first time. Look, man, no hands. Woohoo. And I've got my face in a tree. Right. Some of us are like that. I remember one time I was driving a bicycle and this was after I started to ride it. And we built this ramp we wanted to do, go up and jump down and hit down. And I was going full force and I went up and landed on the front wheel, and these chopper bars that we were on, it collapsed on the inside and it went straight down and my face was in the dirt. Okay. So things like that happen, but basically at the beginning, what do? You fall down, right? You don't know anything about balance. But now I haven't ridden a bike in 40 years, but when I did last winter, I went to a resort with my kids. And I just on there. As soon as I'm on there, I'm riding the bike and I'm riding with no hands, and I'm being able to hold myself, because you never forget, right? But when they're starting, they didn't know anything about it, right? And the same thing with you. When you started a bicycle, you couldn't ride and you're falling down all the time and so on, right? But eventually, what happens is you start to get this awareness of balance and this awareness of muscle dexterity, and your muscles and eye-hand coordination start to work. And you start to say, wow, if I can stand here and try to get my balance, but if I move, I actually get better balance. And the faster that I move, I get even better balance, right? And the faster I move, I get even better balance, because balance could be done just by sitting there, but the awareness comes in that, wow, the faster I go, I can actually balance easier. So the awareness starts to happen, but while you're doing that at the beginning, what happened? Usually your parents or somebody that you knew held the back of the bike, or you put on training wheels. That's your mentor. Your mentor helped you. Okay, go over to the left a little bit. Don't forget to hold on this way. Go backwards if you want to step on the brake. And they're guiding you through the process to learn how to ride a bike faster. That's the mentorship part. And eventually you start to learn how to ride a bicycle. And eventually, maybe you get really good at it and you get into the dirt biking things and the whole things, right? But then that's your skill level getting higher, just like I mentioned before. Now, here's the one thing you're going to, and I hate to even say this, many people on this call want to make a lot of money, but this is the problem. It's not your ability to do it, which is stopping you from achieving what you want in your life, but rather your unwillingness to pay the price. Because when you're riding a bicycle, you pedal, you fall, you pedal, you fall, you pedal, you fall, you hurt, you get bumps, bruises, and all sorts of stuff, right? And it hurts. But your ability to ride the bike was that you were willing to pay the price, learning how to ride the bike, to be able to ride a bike. And that's the way it is with everything, people. You have to be able to pay the price. And most people right now, they have a patience of a gnat. They talk to one person and they say, oh, I don't want to do that. And they're devastated and they quit. They're like, nobody's going to. That's like if you wanted to be able to learn how to walk, and the first time you bumped into something, oh, I can't do this. You'd be on all fours for the rest of your life. The same thing with business. Same thing with what we're showing you here. So you have to have a little bit of patience to be able to do this. Write these two things down. Belief drives behavior. Belief drives behavior, and you face in the direction of your faith. So you have to have the ability to believe that you wanted to ride that bicycle, to believe that you wanted to crawl, walk, run, believe that you wanted to make money online. And if you believe that, it's going to drive your behavior. And I understand at the beginning, you kind of don't quite have that belief that you can do it. You can borrow my belief. You can borrow Joe's belief. You can borrow the belief of your leader and your team, because we got plenty. I can believe for 1,000 people because I understand. I know for a fact that this works. I've had too many reference points of thousands of people doing fantastically well, and people that I showed my system and they've made millions of dollars. It works. Okay. So just to review, 3 elements of a model of achievement: belief, awareness, and principles in the model. Okay. Now here's the problem. If you do any one or any two of these, guess what's going to happen? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. The principles within the model are balance, dexterity, this type of thing, right? How to do the business, the 10%, the awareness of you got to know it exists, and the belief that you can do it. Now, if you're missing any one of these, it's not going to happen. All right. Now, if you could do this, and I challenge you guys to do this right now. Okay, stand up, and I want you to hold your arms out like this on the side, and just put one foot in front of the other with your heel touching toe, and do that 3 times. Okay, stand up, put your arms out, balance yourself, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Okay, simple stuff. For those people that did it, I applaud you. Okay, for those people that didn't, shame on you. This is a participation thing, right? And you have muscle dexterity, you have eye-hand coordination, you have balance, right? But can you do this? Whoops. Can you do this? How many people can do this? Type it in. Can you do this? Are you willing to do this? Now, I understand right now, I'll tell you right now, I have no desire to do this. I understand and I believe right away that I have no desire to do this. But those people that stuck their hands out and put heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, you just did it. That's what you did. You're doing exactly what he's doing, but why can't you do that? Could it be that you lack the belief? You have the skills, right? You have the awareness, you just don't have the belief, right? But because you just did the skills, you demonstrated the basic skills of doing that. So see, that's my point. You have to have all 3. If you don't have belief, you can't do it. You don't have awareness, you can't do it because you don't know it exists. And if you don't have the mechanics, the principles in the model, it doesn't exist. It can't work out, right? So you have to have all 3 of these to be able to make it work. Question, how many of you would work for minimum wage? Right? How many of you would work for minimum wage? Okay? Probably none of you at this point. The reason why is because you're aware of your value and you know that you're worth more. How many people that are out of work, they know there's a job for minimum wage and they'll stay out of work for years. Maybe never even go back to work, but they will not take it because maybe they think their job, their skills are $50 or $100 an hour work. And they will not take a minimum wage job because they know their value is worth more. And what I want you to do today is hopefully from what I've shown you here today, we're going to come to a conclusion really quickly after this, is hopefully I brought your awareness of what's possible in your life, to think on what you do, why you do it, how you do it, and think every aspect of your life, the learning model of success, learning model of failure, and why you do everything, right? And the same thing applies to how you make money online. If you're willing to pay the price, I was willing to pay the price, but what I did also is I understood that money brought me to the front of the row. I was able to skip years of trial and error. Now, at first I didn't do that. I figured it's just about working hard. And I spent over $125,000 in credit card debt because I thought it was just, I'm going to figure it out myself. And I figured that's the way to do it. Well, I had a lot of humble pie in the cafeteria of entrepreneurship, but I didn't quit. And I said, well, maybe at this time, maybe I don't know everything and I should get a mentor to teach me. And that's when I got Darren Hardy and I got all these people. And then it just went off like crazy because they told me what they did. And I can guarantee you there's people with exactly the same skills you have right now, that, right? People with the same concerns and money, income problems and so on. They were all in the same position you are right now. They found the solution. And they found a mentor to teach them to quickly get out of the solution and so on. And that's what we're offering you here with U Economy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go quickly through one other thing that I'm going to leave you with some value today, because I told people on an email I sent out, and the 10 steps to create a new lead. And I'm going to pass it over. We're going to show you how to make money with this. The 10 steps to create a new belief. Number 1 is you have to have a burning desire, all-consuming burning desire, right? Napoleon Hill in his great book, Think and Grow Rich, says it's got to be an all-consuming burning desire. Okay, how many people when you were 10, 11, 12 years old sat at the kitchen table and you looked at the mashed potatoes and all you saw was Sally Smith? because you had an all-consuming burning desire with Sally Smith, right? Same thing with your business. It has to be all-consuming, burning, focused desire to make it happen, okay? It has to be an all-consuming obsession, and it has to be a desire from inside that's going to be birthed from inside of you to make it happen. Number two is when you see it, you have to act. When I saw that house, I was definitely afraid of negotiating and losing it. Someone else is going to get it. I saw it, I acted, I took action, and I did it, right? So that same thing. If you see something, and you see something here tonight, I challenge you to take action, okay? And you have to make sure that you ask the right questions. The question is not, should I or shouldn't I do you economy, right? Because the answer is always yes. Should I do it? Yeah. Should I not do it? Yeah. It's always yes. But the right question, as Socrates says, the quality of the question, the responses we get are based on the quality of the questions we ask. So the right question is, if I do you economy, is it going to push me in the right direction to accomplish my goals and dreams? That's the right question. And if it's no, hey, hopefully I gave you a lot of value today. If it's yes, you got to act. You just have to, right? Number three, you got to be consistent. The compound effect from Darren Hardy taught me that. You have to be consistent, okay? And I'm going to skip past this really quick because I'm running out of time here. But you have to be consistently doing the acts that make it happen all the time. Number four, never negotiate your dream. I told you this before. I was not willing to negotiate my dream. And so many people sabotage themselves because they negotiate themselves right out of their dream, right? It's too much money. I can't do this. What am I doing? I never did this before. My brother from my second sister's cousin's side tried something like this, and they were in for a week and they quit. This must be no good. Okay? They talk themselves right out of it. Okay? Oh, skip one. All right, you have to be creative, okay? You have to focus on possibilities and not limitations. Focus on possibilities and not limitations. I have a whole training on just being creative. That you are a creative being, you create things twice. Once in your mind first, your dream, and then you do things and you fertilize your dream to give birth to your dream and make it physical. Number six, challenge your old beliefs. As I said with your parents, they have given you their beliefs. And I challenge you to say, listen, is that belief that they've given me proper? Is it true? Because it might not be true. If it is true, keep it. If it isn't true, I challenge you to be able to take that belief and to replace it with something that's going to service you better. Anybody know about advertising, split testing, A and B testing? They do one thing, which is a belief, okay, similar. And if they try a second thing, which is the B split test, and if that one performs better than this one, what do? They don't say, you know, I believe A is working, even though it's not doing as this, the B's doing better, but I believe this one, I'm going to ditch B and stick with A. No, they use B, right? Same thing with your beliefs. If there's something that's better, then the millionaires, the 1% out there are willing to get rid of their most cherished beliefs and replace it with something that's better for them right now, okay? Number seven, we must take the first step without knowing any of the others. You're going to look at this business, your economy, and you're going to say, I don't know how to do that. How do I talk to people? What do I advertise? Don't worry about it. We'll show you everything you need to know, but you have to be able to take the first step without, excuse me, without knowing all the others. You have to jump and build your wings on the way down. That's how entrepreneurism works. You start with a minimal viable product, which is you, and you build it as you go. We have the mechanics already done here for you. The systems that I've put together over the last 20 years has had over 2.2 million people join. Close to $500 million commissions paid. It's already working. We know it works. Okay, so that's not the question. The only question is, are you willing to pay the price to make it happen? Okay, and I'm not just talking monetarily. I mean, we have entry points to basically satisfy just about everybody. But are you willing to pay the price and physically do it and not just join and quit the next week? We don't want you to do that. We want you to be successful. Coming into the home stretch, number 8 is remember the law of sacrifice. The law of sacrifice means You have to define what is of a lesser value with that is of what is a greater value, and sacrifice different things to be able to make your dream happen. Okay, are you willing to sacrifice binge watching Netflix on a Saturday and do your business? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Number 9, you must see yourself in possession of the perfection which you want in your life. Proverbs 29:18 says, without vision, the people perish. You have to have vision and see yourself in possession of the money that's going to happen, with the success that's going to happen, with all these different things that you want. You have to see yourself in possession first, and then be clear with that vision. And then this way, when it does happen and it comes to manifest itself in front of you, you can grab it because you know what's going on and you have it in your head first. Okay. Number 10, celebrate your victories along the way. There's going to be a lot of small victories along the way. Sometimes people only celebrate, hey, when I get that $10,000 sale, I'll celebrate. No, you celebrate all the little things that come along. I made a $100 sale, a $500 sale, $250 sale, an M1, M4. You made all these different sales. Along the way, you celebrate all of them. Hey, someone opted into my funnel today. Hey, I celebrate, right? And you celebrate all the time. And as you do that, the victories are going to unfold and be more meaningful, and they're going to have a greater expression in your life's purpose as you start to do that. So guys, if you want to take a screenshot of it, here's all the different beliefs, the 10 steps to creating new belief. And belief is the key thing. Belief and awareness are everything. Belief and awareness are everything. Mechanics can come. Anybody can learn mechanics. Just go to YouTube, okay? But if they know all the stuff is in YouTube, why don't they do it? It's like the Grand Canyon, right? They know all this. You go to Google and YouTube, you can find out how to do anything. But why don't they do it? They don't have the belief, and maybe they don't have the awareness that it even exists. Basically, belief most of the time. And throw a little kind of gel in there. They're not willing to do what it takes, right? So going into your economy, and I'm going to go quickly here because I want Joe to get into the meat of this here. Okay, we're a world leader in the digital era of direct selling. Okay, we are a direct sales company. We are a secondary education company. We have online education. We have educational products that are delivered via the internet, e-learning, okay? Audio files, video files, printed material, live online seminars. We allow you access after you pay for any of the products. You get instant access. You don't have to warehouse anything. You don't have to ship anything. All that's taken care of by us, and you have a worldwide market the moment you join the business, which is great. No borders. And just this digital type of economy that we have, I have people paying me from all over the world in the different things that I have running on the internet. Okay, it's a fantastic thing. And as I said, we're a secondary education company. We have proprietary content in most cases, okay? And we have 3 major topics. Number 1 is we have the e-learning space. As I said, $107 billion and predicted to accelerate. And you know the average cost of 1 hour of digital content from an outside magazine, you see it on the bottom here, Togoras.com, is $10,000 an hour to produce. That's a lot. And because some people say, oh, it's digital education, it's not a physical product, I can't touch it and feel it, it's not real. Come on, guys. We're in the digital age, right? Digital education is here, okay? Big stuff. First product is You Mentor. We have basic, advanced, and mastery. We want to teach you the inside game. That's my specialty, okay? But we start off with everything that we have with basic, advanced, and mastery. You learn the basics first. You go into the advanced techniques, then you do the mastery. Now, you can get all of them in one shot, but we suggest you start at the bottom and go up from there. Next, we have the digital aspect of the world, okay? You work on yourself. The thing after that is you learn about the digital landscape, okay? Again, basic, advanced, and mastery. How the digital landscape works, how to be able to create your own products, how to be able to use other people's products, all these different things, what it means, how it works, learning the lingo, and to be able to use that to your advantage, where you take the stuff you learn inside and be able to use it at that point. And then we go into networking, which is how to take those 2 first pillars of knowledge and how to get it out there, because you can have it here and you can have a great product, but if you don't know how to market it, social media, all these different things, guess what's going to happen? It's not going to go anywhere, right? Because nobody's going to know you exist. The next product that we have is the UCore products. This is where we do a monthly, $60 a month for UCore, okay? It is an intensive, when I mean intensive, it is detailed where we go in, myself, Joe, and we go into these major books where we have the masters of their craft. Why not learn from them? I go in and I dissect the science of getting rich, the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. I go into Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, the compound effect we're going to be coming up soon. Right now we're doing the 4 agreements. We just did agreement number 1, and we're continuing with that next week. The obstacle is the way. I did also about Tom Brady, okay? So I do some other things that are not necessarily books, but concepts. I did a whole thing on Star Wars, the Star Wars philosophy. And remember I said with Yoda? I did a whole hour training just on that. So I dissect everything in deeply, what it means and how to be able to apply it in your life. And we do that at least once a week. At least once a week. And it's only $60 a month. That's it, $60 a month. All right? And we also have live events. We did a live event already. We'll have another live event coming up in September. Live events are the bomb. And we'll be doing cruises and the whole thing as well, too. So again, here's the products, okay? You Mentor Basic is $125. This is a one-time price. $125. You make a $100 commission. You Digital Basic, $250. You make a $200 commission. And you'll notice that the commissions are 80%. So you make 80% of every sale that you make. That's incredible. 80% is incredible. I found that the fastest thing you can do is put together a program to have people make maximum money because everything's so efficient, and they make maximum money when they do sell products. You Network Basic, $500, which is a $400 commission. Then we go up in the next tier, which is the Advanced, $1,250. We call that M1, which means you make $1,000 in commissions. Okay, M stands for make, $1,000 in commissions. You Digital Advanced, $2,500. You make $2,000 in commissions every time you sell one, 80%. You Network Advanced, $5,000. You make that's a typo. That should be M4, so that'd be $4,000 commissions. Then we go into Mastery, $12,500. You're making $10,000. $25,000. You're making $20,000, and $50,000. You're making $40,000 a pop. Believe it or not, we have people doing that have made 6 figures the last 1 or 2 months. It is, again, it's opening up your awareness that this is possible for you, and I guarantee you it is. We have people doing it all the time. But be that as it may, we have these 9 products. It's really 3 core products, but divided up into Basic, Advanced, and Mastery. Okay? Now, one thing you want to do, and as I understand, is all the lesser priced products are included with the price that you get. So if you get this one here, the U Network Advanced, this is included, this one, this one, this one, this one. So even though you're paying $5,000, you're getting almost $9,000 in products. Now on the flip side, if you're getting U Network Mastery for $50,000, you're making $40,000 a pop, but you're getting 25, 12, 5, 5, 2.5, 1 quarter, 500, 250, and 125 included for free. And the cool thing about this that Joe will go into is there's a special bonus on these top levels as well too that we'll talk about. And we send you on a cruise over here, and we send you on an all-inclusive resort over here. So these are really cool things where we teach you at these really cool locations as well too. All right. So I mentioned here just in conclusion with UCore, $60 a month, you make $20 referral. And this is optional. You can do this if you want. I highly suggest. This is like the crazy glue that holds all of the other courses together because it's live, it's intensive, and we do it all the time. And incidentally, if you came in now, you would get access to all of the U-Cores that we've done for the last 6 months, okay? And we pay out 75% commissions paid out over 12 generations of people. All right, so Joe, if you could please take it away. I want everybody to focus in on how you actually make the money with U Economy. I want to thank you so much for watching this. Went a little bit long, had a little bit of delay in the front on how we're doing everything, so that would have cut it down a little bit. But hopefully I've been able to give you some value here today, some of the concepts and ideas that I've been able to pass on to you and cause you to think, right, and think differently and maybe affect yourself in a positive way. So, Joe, please take it away.
I will, Peter, and thank you very much. Let me trust that I'm coming through okay.
You are?
Okay, great. Let me see if I can bring up this screen here. Thank you very much, Peter. That was really, really exciting. I'm aware of that presentation that you just did. It's the first time I've seen it, and I'm really, really excited about it. Let me see now. Could you see my screen? Could you see
Yes.
my full screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully what Peter Wolfing was able to accomplish for you is what he did accomplish for me, which is to open my mind to the realm of something a little bit different, the realm of different possibilities. I know for many people, you're coming through like a traditional style of business. And if you've come through a network marketing or a multi-level marketing style platform, you're probably thinking of like a company. You're thinking of the opportunity to go out, get some products, sell some products. Hopefully people pay for them, and then the commissions get sorted out at the end of the week, at the end of the month, and then eventually you receive your check. This is a completely different shift. This is a different style of doing business. And what I'm going to do here very quickly, we're only going to be together for maybe another 10 minutes because everything that has to be said has already been said. What I want to do, however, is just clarify for you, for those of you who are serious about income and making lifestyle money, I want to show you exactly the levels of income that we're talking about. The U Economy Income Overview, we're going to talk about basic, advanced, and mastery. Peter just shared with you a little bit of detail about the three levels, basic, advanced, and mastery. Now, rather than going into all of the information about the courses, the PDF files, all of the things that you get, let's just right here, right now, focus on the money. Okay? Before I begin speaking, there was something I would like to say. This program utilizes a direct pay, member-to-member pay system. This system that I'm about to share with you has been producing results for decades because this system is predictable, this system is consistent, and this system will solve the problem of cash flow. If you are beginning a business, if you are getting started in business, you know that cash is king. Well, in this system, in this program, it's very, very cool because you get that cash flow problem right out of the way. And the reason is because you are going to get paid on the very first sale that you make. So you can recoup. Peter just showed you 80% of the money that you put into business, you'll be able to get that money back on your very first transaction. Now, let me cover the rules. These are the rules of the compensation plan for the first two levels, for basic and for advanced. You will receive the level of paycheck you are qualified to receive only. So as Peter showed you a moment ago, let's say that you're at that M4. You're at M4, meaning that you are eligible to make a $4,000 commission. However, someone in your group, someone who you enroll, comes in at M10 because of the benefits of not only the commission, but some other stuff I'm going to share with you. You will only receive $4,000 because that is the level of paycheck you're qualified to receive. Now, you're always going to get paid on your first sale. So after you make your commitment and make your purchase, with our help, you will get out into the marketplace and into the field, and the very first sale that you generate pays you. There's the end of your cash flow situation. First sale pays you. Now, the second sale that you generate will be passed up. Okay, you always pass up the second sale of the product that you purchased only. Now, this is important because you may come in here at, let's say, M4, where you're making $4,000 on a sale, and you begin making sales. And if people are coming in and they're purchasing M1, where you're making $1,000, or they're purchasing M2 and you're making $2,000, you can make those sales all day long. And you will never have to pass up a sale until it's M4, the sale that you committed to when you first got started. So your second sale will pass up, and then your third sale will pay you. You will get paid on every single sale thereafter. Everyone who pays you must refer you their second sale. Now, if you start low, meaning you come in here at, let's say, M2, and you start taking a look and you say, you know what? I'm making all these sales. I'm generating a lot of leads and activity. And I've got people coming in here and they're spending $5,000 and there's $4,000 in commission, but I'm only getting $2,000 because that's my level of qualification. You can upgrade. You can upgrade if you want to. The wholesale amount is paid first by the buyer at the point of sale directly to U Economy. So if you say today that you would like to participate, let's say again, at M4, the person who invited you here will send you to their website where you will be able to go and purchase M4. When you purchase M4, the first thing you'll be asked to do is put in a debit or a credit card into the system and send the $1,000, okay, directly into U Economy, and then the profit portion will be paid directly to the referral agent. So if it's your enrollment, you will send someone to the site. Someone decides they want to come in at that level of M4. They're going to spend $1,000 on a credit card that goes directly into U Economy, and then the rest of that money comes directly to you as the qualified referral agent. Now, the basic products, these are the basic levels. Peter already quickly covered this. Okay, basic products equal basic profits. As Peter said, You Mentor Basic, it's a $125 retail, but there is a $100 profit. The U Digital Basic course is a $250 product, but that supplies a $200 profit. And then the U Network Basic is a $500 retail, but that includes a $400 profit. Now, here's something that you have to understand. U Digital Basic includes U Mentor. Okay, so if you're going to purchase the U Digital Basic for $250 at the point of sale, included in that is U Mentor Basic. So if you were to go out into the world and buy those independent of each other, you're looking at a $375 purchase. But by purchasing them in the bundle, you will be able to save yourself some significant money. Same thing for U Network Basic. U Network Basic, as you can see on the screen, a $500 retail cost, provides a $400 profit. U Network Basic includes all the other things you see on this screen. So that's the basic profits. Those are the basic products. Next, we're talking about advanced products, advanced profits. The U Mentor Advanced series is a $1,250 retail cost, and there's a $1,000 profit every single time that sale is made by who's ever qualified to make it. U Digital Advanced is a $2,500 retail cost, and that provides a $2,000 profit to you if you're qualified at that level. U Network Advanced is a $5,000 retail cost, and that provides a $4,000 profit. Now, again, as you can see on the bottom of this screen, U Mentor includes all of the basic products that we saw on the prior screen, plus U Mentor Advanced. U Digital includes all of the things I've just shared with you, all of the U Mentor Advanced. U Network Advanced includes U Digital and all of these other products. Pretty simple to understand. So when you purchase whatever product you're purchasing, everything beneath it will be included if you make the sale, make the profit of the purchase at one time. Now, this is something a little bit different. The mastery level, and stick with me here for a moment because I'm going to show you the little bit different rules that we have set up for the mastery level. Now, U Mentor Mastery is a $12,500 retail. That includes a $10,000 profit. So remember, if you were to enroll someone at U Mentor Mastery, they'll go to the site, they'll be required to send $2,500 into U Economy, and then the balance of $10,000 will go to you. And when you receive that money, you're the person who will authorize the disbursement of the products. U Digital Mastery is a $25,000 product. The retail cost, again, is $25,000. Included in that is a $20,000 profit. U Network Mastery, this is the big Megillah. It's a $50,000 retail cost. Included in that is a $40,000 profit. And I just want to remind you once again that everything here is included. So if you come in here at the U Mentor Mastery level, included in that is everything that you have seen on the prior two screens, all the U Network Advanced products. Same with U Digital Mastery. So for $25,000, you get all of that other stuff. And at U Network Mastery, if you were to break this out and do the math, if you were to buy all of these products individually, you're looking at about $96,000. But in this case, U Network Mastery, you're getting a huge, nearly 50% discount. And included in there is a $40,000 profit. Now, this is something a little bit different. This is the mastery level, which I just shared with you. The mastery level rules are this. You receive the level of paycheck for any product purchase. You always get paid on your first sale. You never pass up the second sale of any product that you have purchased. You get paid on every single sale you make. Everyone who pays you must refer you their second sale, except, of course, your mastery members. If you start low, you may upgrade. Now, again, I have to restate this. Okay, when you come in at the mastery level, that could be M10, M20, or M40. Okay, when you participate at that high mastery level, you're fully qualified out of the gate. You don't have to pass up any sale ever. Okay, so you're always going to get paid on your first sale, and you're never going to pass up a sale of any product, no products that you have purchased. You're going to get paid on every single sale you make, unless, of course, you have mastery members in your group. They're never going to pass up a sale, but they're going to buy the product from you. And again, if you start low, you may upgrade. Okay, starting at the mastery level gives you a serious advantage because you're fully qualified at every level of the UE compensation plan. You will never pass up a sale to anyone ever. The reason is because you are fully qualified at every level of the UE compensation plan. So if you come in at that M10, everything below it, you're already qualified at. You'll be recognized for your commitment. And I'm talking about when we get to the live events we have coming one up, September 21, 22, and 23. You'll be recognized for your commitment. And you are a fully qualified level at every level of the UE compensation plan. That's a designation that will stick. You'll see it on your websites. You'll see it on your name badges. You'll see it on your seating and all of the preferred stuff that people who participate at the highest levels will receive. So let's break it down again quickly. There are 3 options in the compensation plan. We call them good, better, and best. This is good. Basic products. People in the marketplace will purchase products from $125, $250, or $500 retail, and you will be eligible for a $100, a $200, or a $400 profit, respectively, based on the commitment. Better is advanced. Now, MAGIC, I want you to write that down. Magic. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen here, it's on my left-hand side, it says magic, make a grand in commission. This is what we call the magic level, all right? And that's why you see the M. When you see M1, M2, M4, that M means it's $1,000. Make a grand in commission. It's magic, right? So a better option for you to get started is advanced, okay? And it's a $1,250 purchase, $1,000 profit. Advanced $2,500 is the advanced digital. And then $5,000 would be the U-Network advanced. Okay, so there are 3 opportunities in the better section, $1,250, $2,500, or $5,000. Your profits will be $1,000, $2,000, or $4,000. That's better. And here's best. Mastery. Fully qualified. Eligible to receive 100% of every single sale. You profit up to $40,000 on every single sale, and you never have to pass up a sale ever. You are fully qualified and ready to roll right out of the box. Now, quickly, I want to share with you, and just give me a couple more minutes, 3 things. We have the 3% rule. The 3% rule says this, and this has been proven over decades. Peter showed us his stuff, right? You see the house on the water? He's got a big condo he's living in beautiful, Upper East Side. He's doing extraordinarily well, and he's relying, as many of the people here are, on the 3% rule. You just lock in on this 3% rule, and this is what it means. For every 100 people, quality people, not robots, actual human beings that enter the beginning of the process, 3% of that number ultimately will become a member of our community. We do a daily radio show. This morning on the radio show, I interviewed one of our members who was telling us a story about someone who she encountered months and months ago, was still hanging around, checking it out, taking another look. So, you just lock in. So the 3% rule works. If you put 100 people through the system, at least 3 of them are going to get it. At least 3 of them are going to say, yes, I want to get started. Now, if you're at the mastery level, then you're looking at some serious money coming in. You never have to pass up any sale ever. And the 3% rule, that's what we call predictable income. It is predictable results. If you put 100 people into the funnel, you're going to see 3 sales. Might be tomorrow, might be next week, might be 3, 6, 9 months. The reality is that you have a long-term vision, you lock in, and you just get it done. The other thing I want to talk about here are the 3 steps. What do we really do for a living here? What we really do are only 3 things. It may seem like we're in the personal development business, and we are. That's the culture of the company. Peter is a magnificent trainer and teacher, and he's bringing 30 years of experience to the table, proprietary programs, products. But what I do, what the marketing team does for a living is only 3 things. And you can write these down, because if you will master these 3 things, this is where the money is. The first thing that we do is we capture. And what I mean by capture is we capture or collect the names, email addresses, and perhaps telephone numbers of quality people who are really looking for change. That's all we do, is we capture that information. The next thing we do is we invite. We invite people to a webinar like this or a radio show. You know, this week we have 5 radio shows. I think we have 3 webinars, 3 training calls. We had last night, Peter talked about, we did a full hour. Actually, it was a little more than an hour on the 4 agreements. Okay, so we have all of this activity that we do. And the goal for you as a marketer is just to invite people. Okay, as we're going through this here tonight, some people will get this. Some people will understand. Some people will see the money. And some people won't. And that's perfectly okay. The reality of the situation is when you understand the power of the 3 steps and the 3% rule, the only person's life that will change as a result of your decision is your life. Because I know, the marketers know that those 3% and maybe more, some people are operating way above 3%. I heard Peter say 10%. But the reality of the situation is the only life that's going to change is yours as the decision maker. Because the person who invited you here, they don't know if you're part of that 3%. They don't know. They're not sure. All they know is the 3% is in there. So that's what we do, is we capture, we invite, and then we merely collect the decision. Right now, we're in the decision-making process. For some of you, you're going to get this or you're not. Maybe you're going to say, you know, I'll try it out next time. Maybe I'll have another look. Or maybe you're going to say, okay, let's get started. And incidentally, it's free to get started. And then, of course, there are the 3 options I just shared with you: good, better, and best, which is just like basic income, advanced income, or mastery level income. That's it. That's it. A 3% rule. 3% of the people are going to get it. 97% of the people are not going to get it. Are you locked in? Are you willing to just stay the course? Because that 3%, we have people here right now today who are generating really serious income. Okay, I'm talking 6 figures a month. And then there are those 3 options. So here's the best thing you can do, is find your comfortable start point. Okay, as Peter said, you can get started here with us on the UCore, which we really haven't talked about much, but that pays a $20 commission every single month. You enroll somebody, it's a $60 commitment, and you make $20 every single month they stay in it. Make a decision and find your comfortable start point. Maybe your comfortable start point is that M4, because that's serious money. M4 is $4,000 per transaction on the 3% rule. Man, what if you were running 100 quality leads a month? You're looking at a $12,000 a month opportunity there when you get the machine rolling. But just find your comfortable start point and then make the decision. Make your decision tonight. There's no more stuff. We can't really share anything else with you. Now, we could invite you to come on out and join us on our radio show tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern. Maybe you've got a question. Maybe you've come through here today and you have a question about something that you've seen or heard. Well, that's why we provide this forum every day live where you can come and get a question answered. But just take action. Ultimately, we're here to collect a decision. Whatever the decision is perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. Because the person invited you here, they know that the 3% rule is working for them. They're just not sure if you're part of the 3%. And you can begin earning immediately, regardless of where you get started, because you're going to get paid on your very first sale, which is a beautiful thing. All right, just to quickly recap, there's a complete description of the UE program available for your review right now, tonight. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can go to ueconomytv.com. It's just a webinar presentation similar to what you've seen here today. We're not going to ask you to opt in. We're not going to ask you for your email address. The person who invited you, they want that information, but ueconomytv.com is just there for you to gather information. And I mentioned a moment ago that we have got a live opportunity 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 12 noon Eastern at uradiolive.com. Now, this streams live on the internet, but at the same time, you can pick up the telephone old school and you can dial into uradiolive.com and ask any question. Totally transparent, totally open forum. So I invite you again to just, make your decision. Let's get started and let's do this thing together. What do you say? That's what I have for you, Mr. Wolfing. Did I leave anything out?
No, fantastic. Guys, I want to thank everybody for coming on here tonight. You've seen a lot of information, a lot of things to really pick on. Hey, Super T. And a lot of things to think about tonight. And hopefully we've caused you to go, And if you're interested in getting started, hey, get started. Get with a person to introduce you. Get your questions answered. Come on board. We have a very relaxed atmosphere. It's just a culture that we have with U Economy. It emanates from me first. Mm-hmm. I'm approachable. I'm a humble guy. I've been around a long time. I'm approachable, and that's the way we run everything here. Everybody's the same, and we hopefully you come on board and you see that as well too, and you can come on board with us as well too, and we'll be doing whatever is necessary to help you be successful too.
Yeah, it's totally transparent, right? It's like warts and all. Like we've been here for many, many years, and we're still fumbling around trying to figure out how PowerPoint works. How do we start a webinar on time? We're still like, well, we're tearing our hair out. But we do have a lot of fun along the way. Peter, thank you very much.
Speak for yourself, Joe. Hey, I love that T-shirt.
There it is.
Look at Super T.
There she is.
Tony.
Listen, anybody who has a question, again, you can join us tomorrow morning or any weekday live at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. We've gone over 90 minutes here tonight, Peter. I want to thank everyone who joined us here. Thank you to all of our guests who are joining us for the first time. Just get back to the person who invited you here and let them know, one way or another, right? One way or another, we're just in the business of collecting decisions, really. Peter, I'll pass it to you for the final words, and we'll be out of here.
All right, guys. Hey, Al. Hey, Robert, Joanne. How you doing, Tony? Karen?
Hey, Peter.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, guys. Just love to hear you guys on a radio show tonight. Coming on here. Thanks for your support and participation. And for all the other people that are on here, love to, hopefully you enjoyed what I was able to talk about today and be able to pass on some value to you. Come on board, get started with us. We'll look forward to working with you as well too. Tons of different things available for you to participate in every single week. And it's just going to be a great thing. A lot of new things happening with the program, new front end, new back end, all these different things happening that we're putting together. Live events, cruises. It's just crazy, some of the stuff we have coming up. So I look forward to working with you guys later. Have yourself a great night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. So great.
Bye.